I'm Ben Solak. This is the play sheet. The opening script. The Chargers got us. Again, it's another revolution of the earth around the sun, which means it's another year of Chargers preseason hype and in-season disappointment. The Chargers loaded up in the offseason. Sebastian Joseph-Day, Austin Johnson, Kyle Van Noy, and of course the stars, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson. And with that came expectation. 10.5 win projected total by Vegas. 6th highest Super Bowl odds. Well, turns out the new look Chargers are the same as the old look Chargers because they're still disappointing. Aww. They've lost 4 of their last 6 and are now 6-6 on the season. Their most recent loss, a 27-20 loss to in-division rival Las Vegas Raiders. More important than Brandon Staley's supposed to have solved the defense and none of the free agents work, more important than all of the injuries they've had to deal with and the tough losses, close games that they've suffered, is that I still freaking hate their offense and I want to talk about it. In 2021, when Brandon Staley became the head coach of the Chargers, he hired Joe Lombardi, the Saints offensive coordinator, to be his play caller in Los Angeles. Staley knew Lombardi from Mercyhurst College, where Lombardi was once the offensive coordinator and where Staley was the quarterback for a year. So in classic NFL fashion, buddies teamed up with buddies, and once Staley got the head coaching job, he brought Lombardi along. In Los Angeles, Lombardi lucked into the golden goose of NFL team building, a ready-made rookie contract quarterback who wasn't just like good and like could definitely play in the league, was a bona fide star in second-year player Justin Herbert. When you have this rookie contract quarterback, it's the easiest environment in which you can step because you have a ton of money. He's on a rookie contract to sign free agents. The free agents want to come because there's a really talented quarterback here. And perhaps more importantly, this rookie quarterback, particularly Herbert, can do everything under the sun with his size, arm strength, processing. There's not an offense you can't run with Justin Herbert. Despite the fact that Herbert allows you to pretty much run any offense you want, Lombardi has chosen to run an offense, elected to, decided to run an offense that simply doesn't hold water in the modern NFL. Herbert kept that offense afloat last year, but this year with all the injuries, it's starting to sink. Overall, the Chargers offense is 90th in EPA per play. They are 25th in offensive DVOA. This is a bad offense, but this is the offense that Joe Lombardi wants. We can tell from his history that this is the offense he wants. Right now, Justin Herbert, the guy who once made this frickin' throw, is second to last in the league at intended air yards per target, the depth of his target on an average down. If you limit the sample to just first and second downs when the offense isn't forced to throw beyond the sticks, Herbert is last in the league in air yards per target by a comfortable margin. We can attribute this low depth of target to Lombardi, not so much to Herbert, because we've seen it before. As Seth Galina wrote for PFF in 2021, we saw the same phenomenon when Lombardi was the offensive coordinator in Detroit. He had another big, strong-armed pocket passer in Matthew Stafford, and yet he pulled Stafford's air yards down towards the line of scrimmage. And when Lombardi wasn't working in Detroit over the last decade, he was in New Orleans, first as Drew Brees' quarterbacks coach, and then later as his offensive coordinator. And when Lombardi was coordinating offense for Brees, Brees was getting older, so his depth of target was just going down naturally as his arm got a little bit weaker. But for some reason, Lombardi has taken that late stage Brees offense, where the only thing you really could do was quickly get rid of the ball underneath because that's all Brees' arm could do, and decided that's what he wants the entire offense to be for Justin Herbert, despite the fact that Herbert can do worlds more. This idea right here, this shallow depth of target, is the fundamental issue for Joe Lombardi and the Chargers offense. It's not about play designs and concepts and kind of the minutia of football. Is Joe Lombardi, calling a specific play that other teams aren't calling? It's not about the minutia. It's about the bigger picture. It's about the philosophy. It's about the way the offense is taught to the players. It's about the max minutia of football. No more making up words. Let's take a look with play action. This week on Play Action, little West Coast offense boot camp for you. That's all this Chargers offense is, Joe Lombardi. West Coast, play the hits, play the classics. So we got stick. They run it a ton of different ways, but it's going to be this inside receiver. He can run an outbreaking route, or he can just kind of sit down, settle on the hash, a little bit of an option. And then on the outside, you can have a vertical route from this receiver, or in this case, you can have this little outbreaking route, right? You can run it with 3 guys up at the top, and you can have like a third receiver who also runs in breaking route. You have a ton of different options when you're looking at stick. But this spacing, this horizontal stretch, we're going to put these defenders in a spot where they have a lot of routes coming towards them. That's the fundamental idea here. Horizontal stretch in this underneath area. So let's run the play. It's a nice 6-yard completion. You end up getting DeAndre Carter over a linebacker, which is a lovely feeling. Ball's going to go right to him. It's a catch. But there's 2 things to notice. The first is the route depth. We had stick up to the top, we had stick up to the bottom, and then we have just the over the ball route from the running back. Nobody got more than like 6 yards downfield. The second thing to watch is cornerback Patrick Surtain here at the bottom of the screen. Watch Surtain know what's coming the entire way. When you run stick all the time, the corner, especially a smart one like Surtain, is going to start to get downhill and outside on this route. He's going to start to feel it. And even though the linebacker didn't hear, we can find examples of defenders knowing what the Chargers are doing all throughout their film. Stick against the Seahawks. Gerald Everett has the ability to break out or the ability to go ahead and sit down. This time, Michael Bain is going to clear out the route. In the event there's a miscommunication in this option between Gerald Everett and Justin Herbert, bad stuff can happen, especially because the Seahawks are playing expecting this outbreaking route. Let's watch the film. Right here, Herbert starts to throw. Everett's just turning. Herbert thinks Everett is going to break into the sideline. Everett thinks he's responsible to settle. Michael Jackson's going to let the receiver go. It should be a pick. It should be a pick because of this miscommunication between Gerald Everett and Justin Herbert. He ends up dropping it, and you can see Herbert and Everett arguing about it after the play, but one little misunderstanding could have been a pick six. Now back to the Broncos. This isn't stick. It's just curl flat, but watch how the routes end up distributing. We get a curl route here, flat route. We end up getting a flat route here and a curl route, and then we get the little over the ball route from the running back. That distribution is the same distribution as we saw in the first clip. Just everybody shallow, big horizontal stretch, Justin Herbert find the right spot. And this time, no miscommunication. In fact, the miscommunication is on the Broncos. The Broncos are the one who gets the coverage wrong. Justin Herbert, beautiful throwing window right there. What's the problem? Excellent execution. Problem is this defensive tackle is going to bat the ball at the line of scrimmage. Again, from the beginning of the play, watch this defensive tackle. Watch 99 the whole time. I kind of late get my hand down. They're in the hurry up. And so, all right, he's just going to sit on his block. He doesn't even engage with right guard, Zion Johnson. He's just watching Herbert because the Chargers throw short and they throw this curl all the freaking time. So you know what 99 does? Makes a smart play. Just sits in the window, waits, and easiest pass breakup of his life. 3rd and 2. That's a stop. 3rd and 7, a little bit longer of a third down, but what does Joe Lombardi want? He wants horizontal spacing. So we're going to get curl route from DeAndre Carter, curl route from Gerald Everett, curl route from Mike Williams. It's the same distribution. You're going to get a flat route from the tight end, a flat route from the back. It's the same horizontal stretch, just a little bit further down the field. This time, the error in execution isn't miscommunication with a tight end. It's not a defensive tackle getting his hands up. It's the defense knowing the call and Justin Herbert making the wrong choice. Your star quarterback making one of his few mistakes and ends up being a pick. But look at how little challenge there is for the Seahawks coverage because it's the same spacing they've always seen. This is the line to gain right here. The Chargers are barely 3-4 yards beyond it. Ryan Neal steps into the throwing window, and that's a pick. All of that brings us to this. It's 4th and 12, down 2 scores. 4th quarter. You don't get this against the Raiders, you're not getting the game. You need this one, and what does Joe Lombardi want? He wants horizontal spacing at the sticks. 12 yards of depth, and turn around. You go 12 yards of depth, and you turn around. You get 12 yards of depth, and you turn around. You get 12 yards of depth. Guess what you do? Watch how easily the Raiders cover this up. Watch how comfortably they know what's happening. Firstly, to the top of the screen, they're going to get a bracket on Keenan Allen. That's your most dangerous receiver. He's number 2. Safety steps right down, right inside, just waiting for Keenan to break this route so he can cover the window. All right, now let's watch the inside receiver right here. Look at how little fear the corner has of him going downfield. Watch his foot. Watch his steps. There's nothing. Just sitting on his hip, just waiting for him to turn. Bottom of the screen. They're going to get cloud cover, right? They're going to get safety over top of this route. So watch the corner just get underneath. Wait. Just wait for Josh Palmer to turn around. There's no fear of anything. Look at this is 4th and 12. They're the 35-yard line. Watch the safeties gain no depth. They're just sitting at the sticks. So everybody knows what you want. You want horizontal spacing as shallow as possible, and then you want your quarterback to make a heroic throw and a heroic decision. Well, what does Justin Herbert do? Nobody's open, so he's going to buy some time. He's going to see Keenan Allen on the scramble drill, and then he's going to make one of the greatest throws of the season. 45 yards! Back shoulder! Covered corner! Watch him in the end zone view. Yeah, nobody's open. I got to buy some time. Oh, there's Keenan one-on-one. I'm just going to put this ball in a perfect freaking spot. Oh, for Joe Lombardi's offense to work, everything has to be perfect. And that's not distinct to Lombardi. There's other offensive coordinators, there's other coaches, defensive coordinators who all demand perfection. So that's the first thing. Is you're demanding perfection from a team that's got a lot of injuries. Mike Williams, absent for most of the year. Keenan Allen, absent for most of the year. Jalen Guyton out for the whole season. That's your starting 3 receivers. Left tackle Rashawn Slater has gone down. Center Corey Linsley has gone down. You've had a rotating carousel at right tackle. It's hard to demand perfection from a super injured unit. That's number one. Number two, and substantially more importantly, is that while Lombardi's offense demands perfection, when it is perfect, they get 6-yard gains. They get 2nd and 4. They get underneath passes out right away to receivers who are immediately tackled. When other offenses get perfection, when you get a perfect Patrick Mahomes play, you get a 40-yard touchdown. And it's not just the elite quarterbacks. The Lions, incredible offense, all timing based, West Coast philosophy, just like Joe Lombardi. But when they get a perfect play, they get Amon-Ra St. Brown open over the middle of the field, 15 yards, catch and run. When the Eagles, who run just as few concepts, simple concepts as the Chargers do, when they get a perfect Jalen Hurts play, they get a 50-yard Moss A.J. Brown over a corner for a touchdown. When other teams get their perfect plays, they cash in on it. They get an explosive. They get a score. It's worth it. This offense isn't worth it. The perfect plays, the best plays, the ideal outcome for this offense is not valuable relative to what the rest of the league is getting out of their passing offenses. And if this offense isn't worth it, then there should be a change at offensive coordinator so you don't waste the prime of one of the best young passers in the league. I'm still all worked up from Lombardi, getting angry. Time for Under Pressure. Chief safety Justin Reed asked by PJ Green of Fox 4 Kansas City, what will your Chiefs team, what will you bring differently to this matchup against the Bengals? Obviously, we weren't here last year. And this is Justin Reed's response.
A lot of it's going to come down to making the play on the ball, and they have 88 Higbee. No, it's not Higbee was with the Rams. What's his name?
Not Higgins.
It is Higgins. It's Higgins. Higbee and Higgins. They're going to have him back. He's a very talented receiver, too. More of a finesse type of guy. Not the best blocker. I'm going to lock him down. Straight up.
Yeah, Higgins, 88, for sure. And then on Sunday in the game, here is Justin Reed meeting Samaje Perine, backup running back for the Bengals, off the edge. It's not great, I would say. Talking mess is awesome, right? Like Justin Reed said, I'm going to lock up whatever that guy's name is. And then Bengals reporters asked Hayden Hurst about it. And Hayden Hurst was like,
I don't know. I mean, you could pick anybody in this locker room, but I feel like I'm the last person you probably want to talk shit about because I have a long memory.
Good. Rivalry, Bengals Chiefs. Like Reed was in the pregame, he was chatting with Hurst. Awesome. We love that. And then the Chiefs lost the game and Reed got planted by Samaje Perine, which brings us to this. Justin Reed, sometimes you just got to admit when you're wrong and not tweet. In fact, I would go so far as to say one of the best pieces of advice I could give you, just never tweet. Just at any time when you predict a game will go a certain way and then it very much doesn't go that way, the best option is just not send this exact tweet. I really hope the Bengals and the Chiefs play in the playoffs, and I hope Hayden Hurst stays healthy for the game, and I hope we get to see Justin Reed against Hayden Hurst and discover if Justin Reed knows Hayden's name. Thanks as always for watching the play sheet. Thank you to Justin Herbert for throwing the football down the field on 3rd downs at the very least. Thank you to Justin Reed for talking a lot of mess and then not being able to follow it up because Hayden Hurst didn't play. Thank you to the watcher and the subscriber, because if you subscribe, then you can watch the shows.